For the first time since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, professional bike racing on the World Tour returned to the streets of Quebec City. The familiar 12.6 kilometre course back unchanged, with the man who won the last two editions, Michael Matthews, headlining the start list that also contained Wout van Aert and Tadej Pogačar, with Biniam Girmay also making his debut in North America. Almost 3,000 metres of climbing, Greg van Avermaet and the rest turning up. A big day, a big race. On a strange day, however, in Canada, the day after the death of their head of state, Queen Elizabeth II. No neutralised zone at the start of this race. A breakaway was formed. 5 riders up there began to be reeled in the final 80 to 90 kilometres. They'd had a maximum gap of 4.5 minutes, with Bike Exchange, Jumbo-Visma and Intermarché doing most of the work for most of the day. Tobias Foss with a man-of-the-match performance, really, chasing things down for Jumbo-Visma. A really strong effort from the Danish rider, who just a few months ago was going for the GC at the Giro. The first attack from behind came with the gap at under 2 minutes. Quinn Simmons of Trek Segafredo to launch it. Just over 40 Ks were still on the menu then, and he was followed by 4 other riders. With Jumbo-Visma having their Dutch champion Pascal Eenkhoorn up the road, that meant that other teams were forced to do the chasing. George Bennett doing his job. And into the final 25 Ks, 2 laps to go. Lots of hesitation between now a front group of 9 meant that it was all going to come back together again. Until this point, a job really well done by Jumbo-Visma, a textbook performance from the big Dutch team. The last lap, 12.5 kilometres to go. Again, another small group, but once more hesitation, not the right ingredients for it to go. After David Gaudu's attack, Michael Storer would try. The Australian climber, a year after really riding to his best performances at the Vuelta, couldn't stay out, and it was all back together at the foot of the final ascent into Quebec City. Van der Sande was working hard. Laporte was doing the same. But then came the move. Just as Jumbo-Visma moved off the front, Benoît Cosnefroy of AG Desert Citroën attacking with 2.2 kilometres to go. Everybody chasing, but nobody panicking at this point. No move had ever stuck to the top from this point at the front. But this one would. Cosnefroy, having won 12 races to now in his native France, only one World Tour success just a year ago in Plouay. This will be his first win abroad, and the biggest in his career. Holding off the likes of Van Aert, Matthews, Girmay, Pogačar and the rest. Cosnefroy with the performance of his life. And after almost 5 hours of racing, at an average of over 42 kilometres per hour, Benoît Cosnefroy won in Quebec. Second place going to Michael Matthews, and 400 vital UCI points for Bike Exchange. Girmay finishing and completing the podium. Both looking very good going into the World Championships. A huge win for Cosnefroy, and good news for France as they go to try and win a 3rd consecutive road world title. Julien Alaphilippe under a fitness cloud following his crash at the Vuelta. Cosnefroy put his hand up as one to watch going to Australia, and he put his hands up at the top of the podium as the first French winner since the inaugural edition of this race, when his now national selector Thomas Vauclair took victory. Cosnefroy, Matthews, Girmay, Van Aert and Garcia Cortina. Movistar picking up vital UCI points too. A bad day for some of the other teams missing out the bottom. Lotto Soudal and Israel Premier Tech in a very dangerous position regarding relegation from the World Tour. Great to see racing back in Quebec City. There'll be more racing on Sunday as the riders go to Montreal for the Montreal Grand Prix.